Hey guys, Cooper Diesel Power Products, and for our manufacturer spotlight today, we've taken a road trip out to Idaho to visit our friends at Redhead. Cooper.
Danny.
Nice to meet you, Danny.
Nice to meet you.
Well, we made it out here to your Idaho address now that you've moved all over. Why don't you give us a tour, show us what you're about?
Yeah, follow me right this way.
All right, so this is where every Redhead starts its life. Tell me about how it starts. I see you got a bunch of cores here. How's the flow of everything work?
So the way it works is when we order from all over the country from various core suppliers. And when it comes in, it'll come in looking kind of like those dirty cores right there, where they're just covered in oil. They might have some hose fittings, so forth. So we'll break them down pretty much in all of this area, and then they'll get separated and shaken in various areas if it's one or the other. If it's a custom rebuild, it'll go that way. If it's our normal stock item, it'll go this way. That way it doesn't interrupt the paint.
So a customer can take their box, send it in, and specifically ask you to rework theirs, and you'll work their box through the mix?
All the way through. So it'll get tagged, photos will be taken of it, and all the way through the process, everything will stay together if the customer wants their product only.
Okay.
Now, just like what this gentleman's doing over here, he's trying to get the end cap loose on the Stagonon. We also have the board station just right on the other side, and it's the board style versus the Stagonon. So they'll pretty much tear down everything until it gets washed. Once it gets washed, it'll get prepped. As it gets prepped, it'll go all the way and keep getting cleaned for each process until it's up to our standards and it meets them all the way through. We have a couple different areas back here. I mean, this is really the heart of where it all starts.
After it's all torn down, cleaned up, ready to move on to the next phase.
Yep. Once it gets out of the prep station, if they have to sandblast it, paint it, prep it, it'll keep going into a snake pattern in this building.
Okay.
Kind of all the way till it gets to the front.
What do you got going on over here? This looks,
Over here,
these are all sector
so
shafts?
they're all sector shafts. That's all this gentleman does. There's about 3 of them that will come in, and all they do are check and thread, making sure miking them, making sure they're straight, no bends, no breaks, no cracks, no twists. So they're going through each individual one and making sure that as a consumer, as a customer, you're not getting one that's hard to get on there.
Right.
You know, it's just a nice, smooth process through the whole thing.
And the customer can take comfort knowing every aspect of that steering gearbox has been checked.
Yep.
Double checked.
Just like for the Ford, they're a one-time use nut. So with every purchase of a Ford style box on the newer ones, you get a new nut. So you know that's obviously been checked as well, that you can put that on and off.
Yep. So I see you got some sector shafts that are a little bit dirtier here, and then some that are all cleaned up.
Yep, so he's already gone and ahead and went through these ones over here, polished them up, lathed them. So we're taking product that has been used,
Yeah.
and cleaning them up because we're a remanufactured company. So
And you have go, no go specs on those?
We do have no-go specs on making sure that it's going to hold up to our tolerance to our steel. So there is a mating part that has to be at a specification for us.
Right. And then the next step after sector shafts. And
after sector shafts is the prep room on the other side. So
Okay.
we'll work our way to the top covers, kind of show you how they're prepping those out, and then we'll work our way into the next setting. Just
Okay.
like these gentlemen, when they're done prepping, they're getting staged to get put away.
Got it.
So that's what some of those are over there.
The housings, the steering gearbox housings themselves get painted over here, staged, go on a shelf.
Yep, they'll go to a shelf right over here to be taken to get ready for assemble. So this area here is just for our top covers where they're wire wheeling, sandblasting, making sure there's no cracks in them. Yeah, so right now, after they got done processing them,
Yeah.
they still got to get washed. And, you know, our guys are going through, making sure there's no cracks on the top cover, no cracks in the spline, so that it can't leak.
Yeah.
And also checking the sealing surface area, making sure that there's no dings or anything in it. So over here we have our staging area.
Yep.
For once it comes out of our prep station. It's our middle bay. As you take a look down the aisle, you can see
housings for days.
housings, tremendous housings. So these are ready to go to the builders once the valves are set up. So why don't we take a walk down over to the valve section so you can see what we're doing over there.
And this is the portion of the business that really separates you guys from everybody else.
Absolutely.
You're not just, okay, we've got these parts, they go in, we throw them in.
Nope.
You double check, triple check everything throughout the build process.
Yep. So over here is really where the quality starts. Right here in this section, where they're checking tolerances on ball sizing to make sure the worm and the piston are actually as much close to zero tolerance in there, that there's no play at all. Down to the thrust bearing on the adjustment. If we come over here, you can actually see that she's oiling and checking the thrust. So she's checking to make sure the resistance on there is there. And so that you have your returnability when you let go of your steering wheel. It's not just only about your ball sizing.
Right.
There's more into it. So every one of our valve builders, we have 5 of them that are just constantly doing a run of, you know, a Ford style, a Dodge style, whichever one, to make sure we are getting our most product out there. So for our top sellers.
Right,
But
for us.
For you guys, yeah. So yeah, you got your unbuilt valves down here. So these are waiting to be assembled over here. And then our built ones start here.
Awesome.
So these are more housings waiting to be put away, but you're literally taking product that for your OBS, this is your valve for your OBS style, to your F100s, your 70s. You know, we're going through, they're lathing them, polishing them. Just the quality control to see something like this, that the splines aren't really there.
Right.
You know, they scrap a very large amount of valves, only because to imperfections that we can't fix.
Yeah.
You know, we want to put out the quality. We've always been focused on quality than the quantity aspect of it. And so,
If it's getting the Redhead name, it has to live up to the reputation.
oh, it better. Yeah, we take a big stance on the quality side of it. So let's go on over here, take a walk over to our prep station for our builders. So before our builders get it, there's a gentleman that is prepping it. That's his job, is make sure that he taps every bolt hole.
Yep.
To make sure that for like your mounting points, that the bolt is going to be accepted. It's not going to be cross-threaded.
Right.
And so one of the things we do compared to our competitors is every box gets thread integrity bolts to make sure that they can mount it up without them going, hey, this one has no threads.
No extra hassle throughout the process.
Yep. Over here is our mounting station. He's getting everything ready for the builder. We'll have a housing, put them on our mount bars, and then he'll get them onto a rack.
Staged onto a
So
rack.
our builders are building anywhere from 2 to 3 racks a day, and that is 16 per rack.
Wow.
You know, these ones will be your Ford style on this rack here. Actually, on both of them, your 2768 gearbox.
So you got matching carts, you got housings, you got valves and sector shafts.
Yeah, so it makes it easy for the production of, they're just grabbing one, come back, grab the other, and it's a constant flow.
Yeah.
With this, you don't want chaos. You
Right.
want a flow system all the way through.
Yeah, it aids in efficiency.
Yep. And then we have our paint booth where we do our nice color red top covers over here. If you look.
And that's a custom color you guys came up with.
Absolutely. Several of us had it designed and argued about it. You know, it's literally our can. You can't buy this anywhere.
Right.
You know, specifically made for us. And you can see some of the top covers that are prepped and ready to be painted, and the ones that have been checked and ready that have been painted as well.
Slew of them waiting to go.
Oh yeah, no. You got to have them to go with every box. Over here in this station, we have our build. It's kind of our clean bay.
Yeah.
We have our build stations and our testing stations in our shipping department. So over here, when they do pull, they're pulling them, prepping them, honing them. Not only that, they're checking for ball sizing again.
So you got redundancy on the processes to make sure that nothing gets missed.
Absolutely. On the quality side of it, we treat it like if it was going into our own trucks. And I actually have one in my truck, and I beat the living heck out of it. You know, they're going through here, and we'll take a look. So she has already
Put sealed them up,
bearing, yep. And she actually has her valves ready to go. And some of these valves, just like the other valves, she didn't really like how if it wasn't polished enough.
Right.
So we'll cast blast those, clean those up before we get them in here assembled, and then back over to our painting station over there. Once that happens, she'll put the sector and top cover in it and get it over to our testing station. over here. Over here we have testers. We have 7 test benches. Over here, every time one of these boxes gets built, it gets checked.
So you got a simulator to simulate the power steering system.
Yep, so we're checking pressure, making sure it's getting max pressure. We're also checking to make sure there's no bypass, so the flow of it. If you don't have one of those in your pump where you don't have enough pressure, you don't have enough flow, it's gonna feel like manual steering.
Right.
And it feels like
and that's a key indicator that all the seals were put in properly,
everything's all
doing
the
what it's supposed
Teflons,
to.
all the O-rings are holding pressure so that it's simulating what's in your vehicle.
And they're also setting the thrust on the sector shaft here? Or?
Yep. So when we're done, once the builders are done and they get over here, they have a high point setting they set it at, and the final adjustment's by the tester. So if it's there's 6 guys mainly testing at various times, they are required to make sure it's set per
They're
gear.
putting their stamp on it
They're putting
before
their
it
stamp
goes
of
out the
approval,
door.
but it's different for every one.
Yeah.
A forward style compared to a 3rd gen Dodge, 2 different high points.
Right.
2 different feels, just because of the way they're built. And so each one has its own unique testing. And if you look down here, you know, there's a line of them where they're just waiting to be tested.
Yeah.
Majority of
Oh,
those.
that whole slew of them.
Oh, yeah.
Those carts over there are all waiting to be tested.
All waiting to be tested. And so once they get their final adjustment and settings, it'll go under our backside, our touch-up corner.
Sure.
You know, they're looking at the top cover. They're looking at the mounting points when they get unmounted, making sure that they're painted. You know, we have just a slew of, from a Bronco to a ported assist for your Ford, your 2nd gen Dodge. It's kind of a slew of different styles. One thing compared to us on these that sets us apart is our double seal system that we've designed for this.
So you found a known failure point from the factory and decided to come up with a fix to improve it long term.
No, long term. That's the #1 thing on these is the sector seal, just always leaking. Single seal setup, we've changed that, had another groove put in. Now we can use our custom made seal for us to better help our customers, so we're not getting those phone calls, hey, it's leaking.
Right.
Well, that's a known thing for those Dodges. And on some of the Duramax, they use the same housing.
Oh, wow.
On those. So, but yeah, so they're over here touching them up. When they unmount them, you know, they're gonna paint here and they're gonna touch up these bolts here, getting all the black. You can see they've already touched up around the red top cover.
Yep.
Making sure that stands. And here's those thread integrity bolts I was talking. You know, they're going through depending on what size, and they're putting them in there, making sure
everything goes in by hand.
Everything goes in by hand. It's so the customer doesn't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
'Cause that'd be a pain every time you hold it up there and you try to put one in.
Right.
It's cross-threaded.
Hey, cross-thread's better than no thread.
Yeah. Over here we have more of our boxing station where once they get built, they get put on a pallet.
Yep.
For our shelving or for our floor.
Now they're ready to head on out the door.
Now they're ready to get to our shipping department. And so once they're ready for that, they do a quality check as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so let's go on over there.
Oh yeah, you got a whole bunch of them waiting to go.
Yep. Nope.
Do you rotate through so things don't sit on the shelf too long?
Yes, we do rotate them through, and they're also stamped. So every gearbox, just like these right here, they can tell you October 15, 2024. They all get a stamping so that we cycle through them. If they sit too long, they go back to teardown. So over here, they're boxing. Out of this location, we roughly somewhere in 60% of all of our sales come out of this location.
Oh, wow.
We have 2 other ones in Auburn that do the Saginaw and the Delphi style. Those come out of our Auburn location. So your GMs, your newer GMs and stuff like that, those will be all over there. But yeah, so they're shipping UPS, FedEx. It could be also international.
Pallets full headed to us.
Yeah, love to put some on those shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, all over postal. You know, we've shipped over I think 32 countries now.
Wow.
We've shipped to. So we make those accommodations for those customers if they call us and get pricing for those. Some of those we do not expect to get back because of shipping.
Right.
So we do lose a few.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure.
Not to what we have in stock here, but we also sell pit arms. We started selling.
Oh.
Started giving that as an option. Some of those harder pit arms to get from your high boy style.
Yeah.
For the manuals, we carry a variation of manuals over there. We can custom rebuild all the way back to the 1920s.
Wow.
We've done. So typically 2 builders for that do that for us. control valves and cylinders for your manuals as well.
That's
So.
perfect. Well, there you have it. We've made the tour through, gotten to see the new facility here in Post Falls, Idaho, Redhead. We took you through start to finish, from dirty boxes coming in to rebuilt, painted, boxed up, ready to head out the door. If you have any questions on any Redhead product, check the link in the description or visit the website, dieselpowerproducts.com.